All right, I think that means we're good. Welcome back, Mr. Dick. How you doing?
Just dicking and beating, the usual.
Hell yeah. So for the listeners, this is actually our second interview because the first one is now on my currently fried laptop, lost to the internet gods. But what's been new with you, man?
Oh, not much. I kind of got screwed over on some tours, so I just been sitting at home.
Okay, let's just like pause there because I want to hear this story now.
Okay, so the first time was I was supposed to hit the road on July 15th with a band called Some Kind of Nightmare, but their van kind of broke down, so that didn't happen. They got another van pretty recently, and that also broke down. So I'm just like, you guys may be fated to be broken down.
So was
So
that what happened? Was just like the vans broke down that fucked the tour?
yeah,
Man, that's the worst. Was it going to be like a nationwide tour or just like some kind of local?
it was a nationwide. It's supposed to be like 2 to 3 months.
Damn, dude. That sucks, man, because like you got some good music that needs to be like gotten out a little more. I'm a big fan of In Out, obviously, but it seems like uh, Scotty Hates Titties. Is that the title of it?
Scott hates titties. Yeah.
Scott Hates Titties. So I think we really need to know like who is Scott and why does he hate titties?
Well, it's a very long story. So Scott is one of my bros. I mean, the long and short of it is, I was messing around one day. I got a new vocal effect processor, and I was testing it out. I was saying titties, you know, as one does. So it was, all this like crazy reverb and weird distortions, just titties, you know. Scott's like, dude, can you stop? My parents are home. I'm like, what? They've never seen titties before? So I started hitting him with like, Scott hates titties, and it just clicked, and there it was there.
I think that's how like all hits are written. They're usually just jokes first.
That's oh my god, it's so true, man. Like my other big hit, "Birds Aren't Real," started as a joke, and now it's there. It is.
So what's coming up with the music, man? Are you working on anything new?
Oh yeah, I just submitted my song for the new Big Money Cybergrind comp, and then well, that's for the second tour that I got screwed out over. I hit up a booker. He was supposed to get me a nationwide run. It was supposed to be just like a little kind of, well, it was only like a month long run, but it was going to be like in the South, like down in Florida, hitting like the southern states. I think I was going to hit Texas too. I had 4 dates there. And the dude just kind of left me on red a couple times. He's like, yeah, let me book you this entire tour. And I'm like, okay, we can talk about payment later. He's like, all right, that's cool. It's been like 3 months. I'm like, hey man, tour kickoff's supposed to start soon, and you got nothing. So
That fucking sucks, man. You got something coming though. I want to make sure you get enough exposure to like get picked up somewhere.
oh man, that's what I'm hoping for too. Because at this point, I have enough contacts to actually like book my own nationwide run. But honestly, running Dicqbeats by myself is still pretty stressful. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to
Yeah.
like ease the load up on myself a little bit. But then like shit like that happens, and I'm like, wow, can I?
But like going on tours nowadays, like it's kind of a big risk in the first place, especially post COVID. Um, but like a lot of musicians aren't even like focusing on doing tours because all the money just seems to be off ad revenue off of YouTube and Instagram. How do you feel about that? Do you think it's kind of like hurting the music scene, or do you think it's kind of adding to it?
Honestly, it's a weird. It's better for the consumer, but it's worse for the producer because it definitely feels like our careers kind of live and die on the algorithm, like on chance, essentially. It was always kind of like that, but at least if you like knew someone, it could more than potentially work out pretty well. Even if you know someone these days, it's like how much of a career do you actually have going until the next big thing comes up and everyone's attention is just like psh.
I see that alone in just my own promoting. you'll see one band that like everyone. I'm not gonna name any names, but like there's a couple of bands that were just huge for 2 weeks, and then you never heard from them ever again. And I think that really does come with the TikTok attention span. And the algorithms they favor shorter clips. Like when I first started making clips, I don't know if you remember this, but I made that one video for you that was like Pete Davidson. And it was like a Saturday Night Live skit that I edited together.
I remember that one.
Yeah, dude, I worked hard on that, and it got at most the first time I posted it, it got 400 views, and that was it. And then another video that'd be 10 seconds long that I stole off TikTok, 10,000 views. 10-second video. And I think that's the reason we don't have albums anymore.
Yeah, and it sucks too because I like whenever I do hear an album that absolutely like, fucking rips, and then I see it only has like 5 listens, it just like upsets me.
Do you have any bands off the top of your head that are kind of like in that category?
Recently I started listening to Sleep Token a lot. They're like indie metal gent. They've got this. They're like a modern Coheed and Cambria. They've got like this insane lore behind all their songs, and then their instrumentals are just like fucking fire. And then the vocalist is like, he's got that like smooth, like buttery baritone, and I'm just like, this shit rips, and more people need to know about it. I'm seeing them blow up a little bit more, but
I've heard of them.
Yeah, but not enough. And then there's speaking of like TikTok bands, there was Electric Callboy. They were formerly Eskimo Callboy. They had to blow up.
I know them, yeah.
Yeah, they've blown up a lot since then.
They kind of remind me. Remember Bro Job? Remember that band?
Fucking Bro Job. I love those dudes so much. I've been trying like get on a tour with them since I started Dicqbeats because I'm like, we would go so well together. Come on, guys.
I think we talked about this last time, but you almost got on a show with I Set My Friends on Fire. Did that happen?
Yeah, that almost happened, but their booker at the time, he double booked them in North Carolina and Virginia on the same day. And they were already in North Carolina, I think. So there's like, what the fuck?
That happens to them a lot. One of the times I went to go see him, it was supposed to be in Dallas, but once again, I got double booked in Fort Worth. But yeah, that's right there. It could have been like 2 states over. But yeah, Matt Mahana has that kind of luck. All right, so let's get down to the heart of the Dicqbeats. So if there was a movie that inspired the beats, whether it be through just pure sexual energy or terror, what is that movie?
Honestly, it might be a movie that's not even made yet. Because I'm thinking of like all the movies in my head right now. And the only thing I can think of is like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, but as a horror movie. Like just like that kind of editing.
That almost. You ever seen Deathgasm? You ever seen that movie?
No. What's that?
Oh yeah, I think it's on one of the free streaming things, but it's almost like Scott Pilgrim but death metal.
Oh, so like pretty much just Metalocalypse.
Yeah, but not a cartoon. They need to bring back Metallocalypse. That didn't have a proper send off.
I know. I've listened to the musical so many times and just like, there's one more season. Just goddamn.
What was so funny about that when it came out was like I was like still like super young. I think I was just getting into college when the second season came out. And the first time I watched it, like I didn't get half the jokes because I hadn't recorded yet. Like most of the stuff in Metalocalypse, like you have to have recorded at least 2 or 3 times to get half the jokes. We need it back. We need it back.
We do, man. And Brendan Small is so underrated as a musician. But the thing is, he writes like everything. He does all the vocals, and the dude fucking shreds live. I'm just like, dude's a Berkeley graduate too. Like, not many people know that.
Yeah, I think one of the bands that I was in around that time was it's like a little death metal band out of East Texas, but we covered the theme song. That shit was pretty wild. We only played a couple of shows. When we did play this one, we opened up with the intro. Kind of felt like we should have gotten sued, but made for a good show.
Yeah, I feel like that's like half of my DJ gigs. Like whenever I'm playing out and I'll throw in something, it's like might get sued for this one, but it'll be hilarious if I did.
Dude, I want to come to one of your DJ sets. Just like listening to your music, it sounds fun as fuck.
Dude, it is. Like the only thing that really pisses me off is like my live shows are so much more hype than my recorded stuff because I'm actually like in the pit and like hitting kids and like throwing shit. Like I don't know if you've seen any of the videos of my live shows on the timelines, but there's always some crazy shit happening. Like at my most, I think at the last Dicqbeats gig, they got some recordings. I think that we tied someone up in one of the other bands. Like one of my friend Eve from Rotwell, we tied them up on like under my DJ table. I didn't know she was under there, and I like ducked down. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Oh my god! Like, did you like jump back in fear of that?
No, I was like already on the ground, so I started like laughing.
Dude, I'm picturing you like on the ground, like rolling over underneath the table, and there's a person like looking down at you.
Yeah, that's
It's hilarious, man.
I know, and the crowd reactions are always like my favorite part too, because you can tell who's there for Dicqbeats. Like half the crowd will be just going fucking nuts, and then the other half will be very confused and fearful.
That's how you want them to be when you come. You want to shock them. You want to leave them with a thing that they'll remember.
Exactly. Like the first, one of my very first concerts, if not my very first, was going to see the Dillinger Escape Plan.
Ooh.
I went for Mastodon, but Dillinger was opening for them, and it was exactly like that. It was just a bunch of dads with their arms crossed, like, damn, this is some noise. I see. And then there's like just four people, 4 kids, like just losing their fucking minds. And, like you can tell like who was there. You could see them. Like I was short and I was in the back and I could see them. It was like
amazing. Dillinger Escape Plan, man, that must have been a wild first concert.
Dude, it was. And that was back in the day when they still sounded like dinosaurs live. So it was kind of hard to tell what the fuck was going on. But it was still amazing.
Okay, so I thought of a random story while you were telling that one. So one of the wildest concert experiences I ever had. This was probably, I want to say it was 2010. And I was promoting a band called A Theory on Conquest. And guitar player was like my best friend. He's a black kid, and that's important for the story.
Okay.
So like obviously in East Texas in the metal scene, there's not a lot of black people, right? It's mostly white people. So anyway, we were in this one college town and playing a bigger show there, and there was this band we had never heard of called Animals as Leaders, who was playing the show. And then anyway, so the guitar player's name was Kendrick, and we were like the cool kids in our scene, right? Like we never like watched the shows because we were too busy doing drugs out back. So anyway, that's what we were doing. And then I see like out of the corner of my eye, like this like short black person who is probably 5'8". He was wearing like brown trousers, like an Oxford shirt, and like the hat. I mean, just like looked the part, and he had this like huge guitar case. And so like Kendrick gets excited because he's like, "Oh, another black person." And then so we so we talked to him for a little bit, and dude's like super nice. And then so I'm like, "Hey, my name's Jake." He goes, "Hey, my name's Tosin." I'm like, "Oh yeah."
My God, dude.
And I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's really nice to meet you, man. Are you playing tonight?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, I'm up next." I was like, cool, we'll be there in a little bit. And then so he goes in, and then Kendrick goes, "Hey, we should go watch them." I went, nah, we're smoking. He goes, "No, we should go watch them." So we went in, and we're like up front, like right up on the stage, right? This dude has the first 8 string I've ever seen in my life. I never even knew they existed. And he was like, the first song he did was that CAFO song.
CAFO, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man. I used to play in prog metal when I was like in high school. So that was
Oh,
one of my jams.
Oh, dude. So anyway, during the set, Kendrick starts crying. He cried. He was a crier. So anyway, he's like right here, like crying on me. I'm going, I know, buddy. Like we're never going to be this good. Anyway, so yeah, that was the time I met Tosin.
Oh, that's so cool, man. Like, oh, I hate being born so fucking late. Like the first time I saw them was when their second album dropped. It was Summer Slaughter 2013 it was in Maryland. And it was a weird fucking bill too, because Summer Slaughter is traditionally like a death metal, lineup.
Yeah.
No, it was like a Sumerian Records year. Like there was Periphery, Animals as leaders. Like Revocation was on that too. That was sick. Who else? Norma Jean. Dillinger was headlining.
Quick story about Norma Jean. I saw Norma Jean when they were still ludicrous back in like 2001. I was like 12 years old. Anyway, I'm listening. So who else was there?
Let's see. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. They were all bands that I liked. Like the Ocean Collective. They're like an overseas prog metal band. They're great too. And then let's see. Oh, Rings of Saturn was there. I always love seeing them.
They're fucking great. They do a lot of stuff with Buried Alive, right?
I think they've had some features. I think. I wish I got to see Reflections live. I felt that bit fucking sick. God.
Hey, does Buried Alive even do shows?
I don't think so. Like I've been trying to bring him out to do something in the DC area. Like we've had. I mean, like this is where Periphery, Animals as leaders. They're from here. Like Tosin's from DC. Misha's from Silver Spring. Like this is like a prog hotbed.
I love DC, man. That place is I went there when I was maybe 16, 17, and I was like really just like blown away at like just how nice everyone is there. And then so my grandmother at this time thought it was a good idea to bring her two 16-year-old grandsons to DC. And so we snuck out after she went to bed, and then walked around downtown DC, and we like found some weed, and that was cool. But met an old punk there, and coming from East Texas, like you don't know about Minor Threat, Fugazi, etc. Yeah, this dude laid out all punk rock history out for me, like right there in Washington, and then went home and studied that shit up. Is that still like something like people in DC talk about? Is like their like punk rock heritage?
Actually, yeah. I mean, DC is the birthplace of hardcore, like more or less. But we just lost the original recording studio pretty recently. Like it got, I think, it got bought out or shut down. It was one of the two. But we had like this really sick fucking hardcore show there to send it off. But yeah, like the hardcore scene here is still going pretty hard. I mean, Turnstile just blew up. Like they're from Baltimore. So like that's definitely a tribute to a big resurgence here in the Maryland area, I guess. It's like the DC and Baltimore scenes are there's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, on that I just thought of this. On that Washington DC trip, we landed the plane in Baltimore and then took a shuttle to DC, and there was a dude in a band called Underhill that was on that. I don't know how I remember this, but he was on that shuttle, and I had my little CD Walkman. I was listening to this band called Naos Project from Dallas, and dude's like, we listen to this underground music. He's like, cool, I'm in a band. And I think that's another reason I love DC so much, is I was given free music there.
Oh yeah, man. Like honestly, the DC scene has been just so nice. Like it doesn't matter what scene I go into, like I'll hang out with like some of the goth kids, and then I'll go hang out with the hardcore kids, and I'll go hang out with some prog kids. It'll be in like the same hour. Everyone's just super friendly.
See, that's what I love. I love when like all the subcultures underneath the alt umbrella come together. The metalheads can be a problem sometimes, but for the most part, I really like it when we're at one big community.
I know. It's like, well, we've done a really good job vetting like a lot of like the assholes and gatekeepers. Like not the gatekeepers so much. Like there's always some of those in every scene, but it's definitely taken with a lot lighter here. Like it's mostly just memes and fucking around and trading drugs. which is nice.
The good stuff. Well, all right, man. I think we're about at time. You got any pluggables? Anything you want to plug? Anything coming up?
I'm trying to get another tour going right now. So honestly, just that. I mean, I just dropped the new Scott Hates Titties video. I sent you that. You promoted it a little bit.
Yeah, you got me flagged. I got flagged for that.
I got flagged and everything too, except for YouTube somehow. Like
Hell
TikTok won't let me promote it. Facebook flagged it. Instagram flagged it. I'm just like,
You know what I think it was? I think it was that one. There's like one frame where like one girl was like doggy style and the other girl was like behind her. I think that's what did it.
there's no titties in that though. That's like one of the safe shots. That's what pisses me off.
It's bullshit. We shouldn't have gotten flagged.
I know. Like the worst part is like there is one nipple in that video and it's a dude nipple. Like you can tell it's a dude nipple. It's hairy. It's gross. Like what the fuck?
It's fucked up.
I know.
Well, all right, man. Thanks for coming on. I'm gonna have you on again soon. Yeah, man. Best of luck to you.
Dude, likewise, man. And I'm still trying to tour if like I set my friends on fire because now I'm starting to get a lot of traction like the EDM and rave scene. So I feel like we could do something with that.
Yeah, Connor's always on I always see him on my stories. So I could probably slip something to him pretty quick.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to hit the road. I feel like I'm trapped in my house right now. I had a bunch of shit fall through, and I'm just like, I got Gogurt, I got RuneScape. It's been cold my time.
Well, come down to Austin soon, and we'll go get some tacos.
Hell yeah, man.
All right, man. Take it easy.
You too, brother. Take care.